Today, we're with Maxton Gilchrist, who's a member of the Strategy Finishing School. He is going to be taking us through his strategy on a page and creative brief for Curious Planet. He did it in a previous video, showed us how he did a strategy sprint to get to it. Now he's going to show us the presentation. So I'll hand it over to you, Maxton.
Thanks, Julian. This one was a lot of fun. So basically, what I did after the 60-minute sprint was I just kind of took a look at it and said, okay, I've stopped the clock. It's a little bit messy, but 99% of the way there. What could I do if I wanted to just kind of glow this up a little bit so that it was in a format that I felt comfortable and ready to really, share the thinking and present it with other strategists, with other creatives, etc. So here we go. I've kind of got this little narrative going around strategists being, matchmakers between brands and people. So hence why I've got my little image here from Big, obviously Curious Planet. It's a toy store for curious minds, young scientists, STEM stuff, all the rest of it, hence the photo there. But anyway, just to sum up the 1-hour research project. So Curious Planet, educational gifts and toy retailer. The brief that we created was to try to save declining retail sales by reminding shoppers the role of curiosity and play as an engine for creativity. So here we broke it down that Curious Planet is losing a fight against COVID to attract shoppers to invest in curiosity. The problem is that parents plagued by COVID fatigue are forgetting their own health and are spiraling as a result. However, without healthy curiosity, COVID wins, right? So there's our insight and our twist. So what we need to do is we want to show parents how day-to-day curious play can help them fight back. So the parents are then able to overcome COVID misery with vitality and creativity, which is helping to increase brand consideration, online retail visits and purchases by 5, 10, and 15% respectively, year on year. And hopefully, again, if we had a time machine and could go back and save Curious Planet, this would pull them out from the brink of having to do chapter 5 and go bankrupt. Anyway, so when we turn that then into a creative brief to share with the team, we see the insight is that healthy curiosity is actually a secret weapon against the scourge of COVID misery. So using our Get To buys, we got Get Aussie parents struggling to survive lockdown ISO, who feel as though they're losing the battle to COVID, to see Curious Planet as a space to work around the daily COVID struggles by showing how daily curious play can help cure a sick world. And I didn't know if you wanted me to share my little stuck innovator.
Go on.
But yeah, I couldn't help myself. Thankfully, in this make-believe scenario, I didn't have any angry creatives who told me to rack off after I jumped a step further. But I decided, Simone Gertz is sort of one of the inspiration from that photo there. And for those of you who don't know her, she's this brilliant engineer and inventor who just creates all these wacky, ridiculous robotics and just inventions that are there's this silly. You can see one here, she's got a lipstick applier, and there's another alarm clock, I think, that slaps her in the face in the morning to get her out of bed. But anyway, she was kind of my inspiration. So it was this idea of the stuck innovators. So it's like a way for whether it's a reality TV show or an online platform, but it's around these Australian families that are really making the most of their time in isolation, and they're sticking it to COVID, with out-of-the-box life hacks, really, that are making lockdown, if not, fun, at least a little bit more bearable, right? They're willing to, fight back against the COVID doldrums. So it was this invitation of a community of mavericks and creative problem solvers that are sharing daily tips around, harnessing the power of curiosity, and to, help them stay sane and to, really open up a broader conversation around, the potential for curiosity and creativity to help with your own health and well-being, mental health, etc. But also the role that it plays on a broader scale in the world that we live in. So,
Thanks so much for putting this together, Maxton. It's great. And I think you see the key pieces here, the strategy on a page and the creative brief. If I was to go to the creative brief quickly, one area that I think you could shorten up here is that I would actually go into, with the Get, you only need to put the consumer audience here. And so Aussie parents is probably enough. It feels really short. But your second line there of struggling to survive lockdown ISO and feel as though they're losing the battle to COVID, they're probably the same. They're kind of saying the same thing. So you could just move that down to the second line. But really, we're picking up small pieces here because that doesn't really matter too much. I think your byline for me just hits so hard. It just hits so well. Again, showing how daily Curious Play can help cure a sick planet or world. We wanted to go the name there, Curious Planet, get them back in there.
Oh, nice.
I know these are kind of like small polishing touches, but I think what you've done here is just so great, is that you've brought two concepts of COVID and curiosity together, and they just match really nicely. So again, great work, and thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Thanks, Julian.